Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. On the undercard of the Franchon Crews-Dezurn Savannah Marshall fight, this was on Sky Sports. We saw Callum Simpson, who is undefeated. He moves to 12 wins, 9 KOs, and he fought Boris Crighton, who slips to 11 wins, 4 defeats. But you were thinking, that this was sort of put forward as a real test for Simpson, and I feel it should have been, and it could have been. Simpson, if you don't know, is obviously nine KO wins in 12 victories, no defeats, no draws. He's got heavy hands, and in fact, if you look at in 2022, for example, he fought 5 times, scored 4 one-round KOs, and the other was a second-round knockout. He's fought once this year against Sosa Neves, and he beat him in 3 rounds. So he's on this, colossal streak of, I've got heavy hands, I'm knocking you all out, look at me. But of course, what does he need in these rounds? And in steps Boris Crighton, who, even though he's now 11 wins, 4 defeats, he was designed to take Simpson rounds. And you would have thought he would have done, because if you look at his last... Well, he did. He took him 10 rounds. But the point is, you would have thought he would have been more than that. He would have been a threat. Because in his last 4 fights prior to the Simpson fight, he lost 2 decisions. One was to 17-1-1 Steed Woodall. That was over in Poland. He lost a unanimous decision to Lyndon Arthur when he came in at hours' notice. Just a few hours. And he didn't go on the floor until the 10th round. He gave Lyndon a good fight. Lyndon won most of the rounds. But he also stopped Matt McCallum, who was undefeated, stopped him in 9 rounds. He was 6-0 at the time, Matt McCallum. And he also outpointed over 6 another undefeated fighter called Wilmer Barron, who at the time was 6-0 as well. So you would think, this guy's going to ask some questions of Simpson. And if you've seen Crichton before, he's got this very sort of languid, awkward style. When he gets up close, or if an opponent gets near him, he'll grab and hold. He'll do a bit of wrestling. He'll do nothing for periods of a fight. Then if he'll suddenly, if he gets up close, he'll let his hands go. He'll get real busy in little pockets, and he'll go back to sleep again. He might tie you up. He doesn't mind being on the ropes. He's quite comfortable on the ropes. But he seems to have that sparring partner mentality, because Simpson, obviously, a lot slicker, compact, holds his shape well, very much a conventional sort of boxer puncher. Far quicker than Crichton. Defensively, not bad, just considering he's had things his own way. He was showing a bit of defensive nous. But Simpson was in the first 2 rounds. First round was pretty much even. Okay, I think I gave it to Simpson, but not by much. Second round, I thought Simpson won it. In the third round, Crichton started to let his hands go and looked quite good. And there was a little pocket in that third round when he really let his hands go, and you thought, okay, this is what he needs to do. But he didn't do that. He then switched off, and he reverted to this sort of sparring partner, just do enough to stay in there, go the distance, but he didn't seem to try to win. And that's a real shame, because, look, if you're going to take a guy... First, you've got a guy in front of you who's hardly done any rounds, certainly not over the last couple of years. So what do you want to do? You want to make him fight at a pace he's not comfortable with. And Crichton didn't do this. Simpson was allowed to box at his own pace. He can do 10, 20, 30, 40 rounds at his own pace. And Crichton just, he did a bit here. He landed the odd good right hand, overhand right. Again, he was quite happy on the ropes, hanging back, doing a little bit of sort of laziness, maybe throwing the odd uppercut, just keeping Simpson. Simpson, by the way, was smothering his own work by getting in too close. But Crichton was quite content to let him come forward. It wasn't impressive stuff from Crichton. I expected more. But what he did, if you want to call him a gatekeeper stroke journeyman on a domestic level, I think he's better than a journeyman, but he seems to have that gatekeeper mentality. He gave Simpson 10 rounds, and Simpson will learn from that. Because Simpson was stung a couple of times, not badly. In the last round, for example, Crichton landed one big overhand right, that really shook Simpson. You know, his legs stiffened momentarily, and you couldn't help but feel, well, if he'd let it all hang out rounds ago, he'd have a chance of winning the fight. But it was disappointing from Crichton, especially when you consider how awkward he made it for Lyndon Arthur, you know, and he's scored some good wins in the past. If he wants to move to domestic level to challenge for the English, the British, he's got to do more. He's got to do more. There's no doubt about it. Simpson, of course, Crichton, by the way, is 29, whereas Simpson is 26, so the younger man. He talked about fighting Zach Chelli next. Okay, fair enough, that's a possibility, but he'll be looking for belts. But this 10 rounds will do him well. I'd say he needs a few more rounds, another couple of 10 rounders against tough guys who are going to take him the distance. But he's done all right. Okay, you know, it wasn't his fault. He did what he had to do. Simpson got the win. Did you see the fight? If so, comments below. Like the channel if subscribe to the channel if you're new. You could help us out. That'd be a great deal. And like the video as well. Let me know, what do you think of Crichton's performance? What do you think of Simpson? Can he go far? Do you reckon he can be British champ, European champ, maybe even move on to the world level? Let me know your opinions. But yeah, it wasn't a great fight this, but 10 good rounds for Simpson. Looking forward to reading your comments. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.